today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect ribeye at your home. We got 3 steaks here that we got at our local Walmart. Now, I'm going to talk you through, at a steak competition, how I pick a steak. The reason why I picked this one, there's actually 3 different steaks in it, and they're all great steaks, depending on what it is you're going to use them for. As far as eaters, test steak, and an actual comp steak, I feel like all 3 are here, at least for me, the ones I like to pick. But let's just start with this one right here. Now, this is called the ribeye, the eye of the ribeye. This is called the spinalis. Now, this is actually the best part, in my opinion, and I think most everybody's opinion. It's definitely got the best texture. It falls apart easier than the eye of the ribeye. What I'm looking for in these is like even and fat. So this has a lot of fat in it. I don't know if you can see that very well. This has a lot of fat, but I also like to request that they flip it over, and then I like to see how big the spinalis is on the other side. And this one is really pretty even. The spinalis is coming around. It has the same thickness on both sides all the way around. Now this one to me right here, this is something I would cook a test steak with. It has a lot of fat, and fat's flavor. I'm not a big fan of fat on ribeye personally. I know a lot of people are, so this is why I would call this one an eater. I would probably leave all this fat on, go ahead and cook it just to get my temps and make sure everything's working right. So we'll call that the eater. This steak right here is actually a popular steak in competition too. You can tell that it has a bigger seam of fat in between the spinalis and the eye. Now personally, as far as eaters at restaurants, there's a lot of people that absolutely love these. If you love fat, this is your dude right here, because this fat in here is still pretty hard in fat terminology, but it renders like butter. And if that's your thing, this is probably your steak. But if you look at the spinalis, to me, it's pretty much the same size all the way through, except for if I was going to trim this off in competition, I'm going to lose a lot of width on this spinalis right here. So for those reasons, I'm going to cook this dude. In this video, we're going to cook one steak. But here's the deal. If you can learn how to cook one the right way, you can cook 3, 5, 10, 20 perfectly too. So we're going to do a light trim on here, do a very basic seasoning, cow cover and dirty bird. When I won the 2015 World Steak Championship, I used cow cover, dirty bird hot, and Texas beef. But for an at-home cook, these 2 right here will keep you out of a restaurant for the rest of your life. I promise you. Once you nail a steak with these 2, game on, sucker. So I'm going to do a light trim, just kind of take off some of these little pieces, and I am going to take off some of this fat. Don't freak out. I'm just going to leave a little bit on there. In a competition, we would trim this thing to where actually we would take this tail completely off and round it right across here and tie it up. And when you tie it up, it actually turns more circular. It looks more like a fillet, but we're not going to do that here. We're going to teach you how to cook the perfect ribeye for you. Just a light trim, not getting crazy. Flip it over, take a look at the other side. Get those little hangers. And that right there is all I am going to do. For the rub, like I said, cow cover, very first coat. Pat it in. Don't worry about if you're putting too much on there. I see a lot of people in the comments, that's too much. It's not. I promise you, it's not. Flip it over and repeat. And one more coat of dirty bird. Push that in. Now, I'm going to use the extra rub on the board to hit the edges. Just like that. Just press it all in there. Now we let it rest. It's going to sweat out. It'll probably take 5 or 10 minutes depending on the temperature and the humidity outside. So we got the hasty bake cooking in the back. We're going to be doing an indirect. There's grill grates on one side and just regular grates on the other side. I use that zone right there for just in case I get my marks and I need to move it over because I still have a couple more degrees. I got an actual shelf that I'll put over there, put that steak on there, get it off the grate, and it'll finish over there. Super simple, super easy. All right, so we have our hasty bake. We're at almost 500 degrees off of this temperature probe at the front, but I promise you, it's over 500. Tools that I'm using. Grill grate flipper, goes in between the grill grates. I have a steak weight, and I have a little steak shelf. This is gonna go super fast, so I suggest you not try this with cameras on you, rolling, and you got one steak. Right, Wes?
We got this.
All right, here we go. Now, I already sprayed this down with duck fat earlier. I'm gonna hit a light coat of it again. Now I'm also gonna spray it on my steak. Just like that. Place this little baby on here. Press it down, shut the lid. Hey Siri, start a timer for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds, counting down.
And 20 seconds. Now I got knit gloves on here, so don't try this at home. But that's what I'm looking for right there.
Great job.
This is the glorious thing about spraying it with fat. It wipes right off. Hit it again. Hit the other side. Now just line up your grill marks. Press. Hey Siri, set a timer for 1 minute, 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds, counting down.
Now we wait. That timer off. Boom. Looking beautiful. Once again, clean it off. Spray it with a little duck fat. Now, since I know my lines are going the same way on both sides, rather than put it down this way, I'm gonna flip it. And you can do it however you want. So let's just go this way. That looks good. Hey Siri, start a timer for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds, counting down.
We got about 20 seconds left. This is when I'm gonna tempt the steak for the first time. I'm shooting for 127, but we'll see what happens. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, look at that sucker. Temp it, 109. Clean your grates, spray it down. One more time. Hey Siri, set a timer for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds.
All right, I think this steak is gonna finish a little bit quicker than 1 minute and 20 seconds. So at 1 minute, I'm gonna open it and temp it. Hopefully I'm right, but if I'm not, worst case scenario, I wanna catch it before it shoots over my target temperature. 20 seconds, temp it. 114, check the lip, check the tail. I think I'm good there. I'm gonna call it. So I'm gonna put it on the cutting board and I'm just gonna lightly drizzle some butter over it. You can dab it on there if you'd like. And don't be afraid to make your own clarified butter. When you melt butter, and by the way, I have half a stick of melted butter here that I've been holding on to. You can tell the clarified portion versus the unclarified. The unclarified settles in the bottom. And now, just gonna put a tint over it and rest it. Let's see how we did. The one cool thing about steaks, a lot of people don't know this, is after you cut it, you can watch it, literally watch it. It's hard to tell if you got it right the very first second because, and as you'll even watch on film, this will start turning redder and redder as it gets more oxygen to it. See, look at the clear difference. This was cut first, this was cut last. Look at that dude too. But now for the final taste test results. That is better than any steak you will ever find at a restaurant. Money every single time. So hey, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you want to make this recipe, head on over to kosmosq.com, print out the recipe instructions, go make it for yourself, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Bye, motherfuckers. A lot of the coals, not a lot of them, god dang it, and brush.